right, we are back for a huge day in the National Basketball Association. Today is Monday, February 10th, and we have got 10 games today in the NBA, and it is headlined by Luka Doncic's debut as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. It is the final game of the night. It is the only game at 7:30 tonight. They're taking on the Utah Jazz. We're going to talk about that game in full at the very end of the video, but we've got 9 games prior to that. I am going to be at the Crypto.com arena tonight in a suite watching the Lakers taking on the Utah Jazz. I am going to be vlogging that game, and I guess my day today, I'm going to get on a flight in a couple hours here, go down to LA, and you guys will get to see my experience in Los Angeles seeing Luka Doncic's debut. It's going to be something. I can't wait. But before we get into the predictions, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Yesterday, only 3 games. We went 3-0. So let's keep on moving here on the channel. Before we get into the predictions, though, make sure to go check out our college basketball best bets. That video was posted before this one a couple hours ago here on the channel. And also make sure to go check out our UFC Fight Night Cannonier versus Rodriguez predictions that were posted yesterday on the channel. Make sure to go check that one out. Link is in the description down below. Let's move on now to the first of our 10 games in the NBA today, and we go to a big one of sorts. It's the Minnesota Timberwolves at home taking on on the road taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. We like the Cavs to win and cover here. I think that's the expected play in this one. Minnesota coming off 3 straight victories, though. All of them at home to the Chicago Bulls, to the Houston Rockets, and to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I think the Timberwolves, with their injury problems, are just going to run into problems in Cleveland against the Cavs. Minnesota, we don't even know if Mike Conley's going to play. He's questionable with the finger injury, and Anthony Edwards is questionable with the hip injury as well. The Cavs, again, they improved so much at the deadline by adding DeAndre Hunter to this team, regardless of if Hunter's starting or not. I mean, that's just such a great guy to add to your team. Again, just to add to the already great depth that the Cavaliers have. But again, that starting lineup is just nasty right now. Garland, Mitchell, Strus, Mobley, Allen. And again, I'm telling you, that DeAndre Hunter move, it just makes them better and makes them even more equipped for a playoff run. I mean, I was thinking this team was going to get eliminated potentially in the second round before they even got to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know now, man. The Cavs are legit scary. Again, that DeAndre Hunter move, I'm not saying again the Cavs were essentially a DeAndre Hunter move away from being the Eastern Conference champions this season, but that just makes them much more deep, and it makes them a tougher team to deal with at the end of games. Again, just defensive wise, DeAndre Hunter really helps out that basketball team. Now, the Cavs have not played since Friday. They got the entire weekend off. They went out, they beat the Washington Wizards on the road, a game that we successfully predicted the Wizards were going to cover in. In this game, though, I expect the Cavs to win and cover the points that they need to as well at home. It's an 8.5 point spread for the Cavaliers at home. I think they do it again. The Cavs are at home. They're a much better home team. Hell, their last home game, other than the Celtics, they blew out the Dallas Mavericks and beat them by 43 points. And trust me, we will get to the Mavericks in a minute. Obviously, their situation that's going on. Brutal, but we'll talk about it. I think the Cavs should be able to take care of the Timberwolves. Yes, the Timberwolves have been winning basketball games, but now they're on the road. It just makes it that much more difficult for Minnesota to go win against a Cavs team that's just going to put it on them. And again, we don't even know who's going to be playing for Minnesota tonight. It's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers at home to win and cover the 8.5 points as well. We move on to our next one. The Orlando Magic host the Atlanta Hawks. Right now, the 8 versus the 9 seed in the Eastern Conference. And if Trae Young was healthy, yes, we would be picking the Atlanta Hawks. Full transparency, but no Trae Young tonight. He is doubtful to play this game, so we're just going to assume Trae's not going to give it a go. That means the Magic likely get it done. Again, no Trae Young, no DeAndre Hunter now, obviously, with the trade, and Jalen Johnson out for the season. You're missing pretty much your 3 best guys on your team. Again, Trae Young's already carrying a very heavy load because of the trades they made and obviously with the injuries that the Hawks have been dealing with. But by himself, again, or without Trae Young, my goodness, it's near impossible that the Hawks can keep playing at the level that they are. Now you rely on guys like Dyson Daniels and Onyeka Okongwu to lead the charge for you. I like those guys, but that's not ideal, obviously, for this Atlanta squad. Now, for the Orlando Magic, they haven't been playing good basketball either, but for as many games as they were losing, very similar to how the Atlanta Hawks were playing, they have won 2 out their last 3, winning in Sacramento against the Sacramento Kings and beating the San Antonio Spurs in their last one by 1 point. Big night in that one at Paolo Banchero, and ultimately that's what's going to need to happen for the Magic. Banchero and Franz Wagner to play well together and to lead this team, obviously, to the postseason. They were the 5 seed last year in the Eastern Conference. We'll see where they end up, but in this spot, yes, I'd like them to beat the Hawks. I think they cover this line fairly easily as well. No Trae Young for Atlanta, and no, obviously, DeAndre Hunter and Jalen Johnson as well. It's just so tough on the Hawks to win basketball games like that. It just is. I think everything considered, I think the Magic get this one done. They are 26-28. The Hawks are 25-28. I think Orlando gets it done at home, and I think they cover the 5.5 points as well. They should be able to shut Atlanta down on that side of the ball, and I think they should be able to score enough, obviously, to win. And again, we've been talking about it for a little bit. We want Trae Young in Orlando next season. It just makes sense. Give me the Orlando Magic to win at home and to cover against the Trae-less Atlanta Hawks. We go on to Washington, D.C. for the Washington Wizards and the San Antonio Spurs. The Wizards are getting 11.5 points at home in this basketball game, and I actually think they cover. The way San Antonio's been playing recently, it hasn't been the best. The Spurs are 6 games under 500. They find themselves now kind of at that same spot the Portland Trailblazers are at in the Western Conference. The Spurs are not making the play-in this season. Again, the Warriors are fighting. The Warriors, Kings, and Suns are all fighting life and death to make the play-in. The San Antonio Spurs, they're not going to sneak in. They need to go on a crazy run. And again, we think the Spurs win this basketball game, but to cover the 11.5 points, it's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. I think it's going to be tough for them to cover all these points against the Wizards. The Wizards, again, they went on their 3-game winning streak. They go to Minnesota and win. They go to Charlotte and win. They go to Brooklyn and win. But then back-to-back losses again against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. Again, which these losses are more than expected for a Wizards team that is now 9-43. But again, they at least have those 9 wins now. At one point, they were 6-41. Right? And Jordan Poole has been playing hero ball for Washington. I mean, this is a guy who averages 21 points a night, but that's kind of what's needed out of him since, obviously, the Kyle Kuzma move. But hear me out. I think Washington's low-key better without Kuz. Now, Kuz is not the most impressive for Milwaukee either, so honestly, again, I don't think it's that bad of a move that Washington got rid of Kyle Kuzma and let Jordan Poole now run free. Now, we'll see if Chris Middleton makes his Wizards debut. Marcus Smart as well off the bench. I don't know. Actually, okay, apparently it's coming out that Chris Middleton is expected to make his Wizards debut after the All-Star break. I assume the same thing could be said about Marcus Smart, yes. And no Alex Sarr tonight as well for the Wizards, but that just means we're going to see big minutes out of Rashawn Holmes, obviously, because of the Jonas Valanciunas trade. I still think the Wizards can cover. I think, again, Wemby's going to have a field day, but when does he not? I think the Spurs, again, they haven't been playing their hottest ball. They're going on the road for the 5th consecutive game. It's the end of a road trip. Or, sorry, they still have Boston on Wednesday. I just think the Wizards are able to stay somewhat competitive and not get blown out here. Again, there are better games to bet on than this one, so I wouldn't touch it, but this is a Spurs team that has lost back-to-back games to the Charlotte Hornets and the Orlando Magic. I think the Wizards are able to stay within the 11.5 points, but again, personally, I'd completely stay away from the game. Give me Washington to cover, and obviously we're going to take Wemby, De'Aaron, and Chris Paul of the San Antonio Spurs to win the game. We move on to our 4th game of the day, and we go to whatever the hell this is, the Charlotte Hornets and the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, I applaud you if you're going to sit down for 2.5 hours and watch this basketball game. I really do. I'm not. Full transparency. Again, I try my hardest to watch the highlights of every single game. I don't know if I'm going to be watching the highlights of this one. I just don't. Ben Simmons is no longer a Brooklyn Net. He is a Los Angeles Clipper. Ooh. So scared of the 3-time All-Star Ben Simmons. It's a move that ultimately is fine for the Brooklyn Nets to make, even if they're trying to win games right now. I mean, when Cam Thomas comes back into the lineup, and hell, guys, Brooklyn, I'm just going to say, again, Brooklyn, guys, is only 3 games out the play-in. They are actually very in it. Now, I don't think the Nets even know that, and I don't think the Nets are even trying to make the play-in. I don't even think they have that as a goal this season. Let's try to sneak into the play-in. No, probably not, but they are actually very in this thing. And the way Philly's been playing and the way Chicago's been playing recently, it's really not outside the realm of possibilities that the Nets get in the play-in. Now, they're an automatic out for whoever they play in the first round of the play-in, whether it be Detroit, Miami, Orlando, or Atlanta, but they could actually get in. So if you're thinking, again, I know the Nets aren't thinking this far, but getting rid of Ben Simmons just allows for D'Angelo Russell to play more minutes, and when Cam Thomas comes back from injury, you move Keon Johnson back to the bench, and Keon Johnson can now get his run in at the 1 as well. they're not that bad. The Nets, for being a bad team just as a whole this season, they're better than these other low-level squads like the Charlotte Hornets. Now, we don't even know who's going to be playing tonight for Charlotte. They've got so many injuries. They just played yesterday against the Pistons. They had no LaMelo Ball. I don't know who's playing this game for Charlotte. We can expect Melo probably to play because he's not playing, back-to-back games on back-to-back nights. But still, I like the Nets. The Nets have actually been playing better team basketball recently. Who's even playing at center for the Hornets tonight? Nurkic is still out. Diabate, I think, is playing. But Mark Williams, who is now back to being a Charlotte Hornet, I doubt is playing. And is, it's been figured out that he had a jigsaw puzzle as a back. I don't know. It's just, that's what I saw on Twitter. I mean, it just obviously couldn't pass the physical, so that's why he's back in Charlotte, and Dalton Knecht is back in Los Angeles. When the hell was Elfrid Payton a Hornet? What? I'll be honest, guys, I didn't know Elfrid Payton was on this team. Did they just get him? They must have just got him. I don't remember Elfrid Payton being on the Charlotte Hornets. I really don't. Well, they've been playing Taj Gibson a lot. Gibson had to play big minutes yesterday because they had no other centers. Yes, he's 40 and he's still playing. Give me the Brooklyn Nets. D'Angelo Russell, Nick Claxton, Cameron Johnson and company should win this basketball game to draw the Nets within 2 games of the play-in. Oh my goodness. How is this possible? Yikes. Let's go to, I guess, a rivalry. It's not a rivalry now. Jimmy's gone. The Miami Heat take on the Boston Celtics. In Miami, Boston, proved me wrong the other night. They went to New York and won. Sure, they weren't going to go out there and lose back-to-back games. It is what it is. Again, I was expecting, regular season Knicks to show up. They didn't. I can't take the Knicks seriously. I don't think they're going anywhere in the postseason. I think, again, the regular season ball the Knicks are playing is the best they are going to look in the entire year. But good for Boston picking up the win. Obviously, the game before that, they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, who showed a lot of hope in that game. And they showed a lot of hope through the first 3.5 quarters against the Houston Rockets, but we'll get to Dallas in a little bit. We'll get to them with their matchup later on in the video. In this spot, though, I think the Boston Celtics go to Miami and win. Miami's coming off a loss in Brooklyn against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, it's a new era in Miami. That's what Pat Riley said, as Andrew Wiggins now enters the starting lineup for Miami. And I've said it before, I think the trade's a win for Miami. You get 3 All-Stars now in your starting lineup. And I don't care, Wiggins hasn't been an All-Star in a very long time. But yes, you have 3 All-Stars in your starting lineup in Hero, Wiggins, and Adebayo. You get Khalil Ware, who is likely on track to win the Rookie of the Year this season, especially now that Dalton Knecht is back in Los Angeles. Because if he was in Charlotte, I'd think, oh, maybe, Knecht might be able to go off there. No, he's back in Los Angeles. He's playing bench minutes. And you also have Duncan Robinson, who can shoot it. Now, we expect Andrew Wiggins to make his Miami Heat debut tonight against the Boston Celtics. I think it's going to be a learning process for Miami. And I think, again, they're going to be a lot better coming out of the All-Star break. These 3 games, though, that they played before the break, they're brutal. I'll just be honest. Boston at home, in OKC Wednesday night, second half of a back-to-back in Dallas. That's just a brutal stretch. There's no other way to put it. That's a brutal stretch for Miami. They might be able to get Dallas on the road, just the way, again, I don't know where the hell the trajectory of the Dallas Mavericks is going to be now, but they're losing to Boston probably at home. They're going to lose to OKC as well. The Celtics are just the better basketball team. I mean, Boston, again, is expected to win pretty much every single game they play. I get it. They've got some injuries, but as long as as long as Tatum plays, they should be fine. No Drew Holiday. Both Tatum and Jaylen Brown are questionable. I expect at least one of those 2 guys to play. And again, the Celtics are so loaded. Like, again, if they could be without Jaylen Brown, I still think they win this basketball game. So honestly, as long as Jason Tatum plays, I'm fine with Boston. I'd wait to bet on this game until these guys actually, get cleared to play or not, because I wouldn't blindly bet on Boston to cover this line without Tatum, Brown, and Drew, because if you do, then you're stuck with Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Al Horford, and Kristaps Porzingis in the starting lineup. And then who the hell comes off the bench? Cornette? Jordan Walsh? I don't know who else comes off that bench then, right? So as long as Tatum plays, and hopefully we get Jaylen Brown too, I think the Celtics should cover this line on the road. But yes, I'd stay away. Again, there are better games today. Pretty much every single game I talked about prior to this one, other than, I don't mind the Nets at all today. Every other game I talked about beside that San Antonio-Washington game, I like more than this one. Yes, I expect Boston to go on the road, win this basketball game, and cover the line. But again, I'd stay away just with the injuries. But Andrew Wiggins will be, making his debut for the Heat. But again, what will Wiggins look like in this offense right off the bat? right? We just don't know. So give me Boston and win and cover on the road. But yes, personally, I would stay away. Next up, we go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the Brooklyn Nets, my goodness. The Golden State Warriors and the Milwaukee Bucks. Hear me out, I'm taking the underdogs here. I'm taking Milwaukee. They're coming off a victory at home yesterday against the Philadelphia 76ers. We told you that was going to happen. Second half of a back-to-back for Milwaukee. They are injured. No Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is going to be out indefinitely. He'll be missing the All-Star game. Wait. Does that mean Trae Young's an All-Star now? I didn't think about that. Wait. Giannis All-Star game replacement. I didn't think about this. Does this mean Trae Young's an All-Star? I think Trae Young's going to be an All-Star, guys. I think we've done it. Oh, they're going to give it to Melo. No, they should give it to Trae Young. It's going to be one of those two. Oh, wait, AD's going to be out too, but that's West. That's going to be Sabonis probably. Ooh, please. We need Trae Young in the All-Star game. We really do. I think he'll get it. We'll see. Anyways, I didn't think about that. Giannis is out through the All-Star break. I still think Milwaukee wins this game. Guys, I'm not impressed with the Warriors. I don't care if they go to Chicago and win. Jimmy Butler's on his team, that's great. That doesn't solve their problems. They're better, sure, but I don't think they're championship caliber. They're not at all. When they play these good teams, and I get it, it's Milwaukee without Antetokounmpo, I still think the Bucks get them. I honestly do. Curry's questionable for this game with a left quad soreness. So what, we're gonna rely on Jimmy Butler to be the number one tonight? I don't know. I think they're going on the road. I get it, Milwaukee just played yesterday, but that was a day game for them. They've had, again, I know it's a back-to-back, but it's not like they're playing back-to-back night games. Dame dropped 43 yesterday afternoon against the 76ers. Bobby Portis has been having big games as well. I don't mind Milwaukee here at all. If you want the conservative play, sure, take Milwaukee on the points plus 6.5. If you're feeling aggressive, take plus 195 for the Bucks. That's a kind of a disrespectful line for them at home. Guys, this should be more like an even game, I think. Again, we don't even know if Curry's playing. Guys, the Warriors aren't that good. They're not. They are a 500 team who, sure, they had Jimmy Butler, who is a playoff-type player. I don't mind this at all. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks at home, even without Giannis Antetokounmpo. We need another big night, like we've gotten recently, out of Dame and out of Bobby Portis, in order for the Bucks to take this one, and I'm more than willing to play that. Give me Milwaukee on the money line. Plus 195. You can take the points as well, plus 6.5 for the Bucks. Next up, we go to Oklahoma City for the best team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, yes, the Thunder are winning this game. I think they cover 15.5 as well, just considering the way the Pelicans have been playing. We thought there was hope for New Orleans, right? They go on that little win streak. They win 4 straight games. They beat Chicago. They beat Dallas. They beat Utah in back-to-back spots. But then again, they go to Memphis, lose. They go to Charlotte, get blown out. They get blown out in Toronto. That was close, but still, they lose in Toronto. They lose to the Mavs. They lose to the Celtics. Lose back-to-back games to the Nuggets. And they lose to the Sacramento Kings in their last game as well. Zion drops 40, but they still lose to that lowly Sacramento team that has been struggling in the new Zach LaVine and post-De'Aaron Fox era. The Pelicans, again, it's unfortunate, man. Because they had 4 guys at the beginning of the season that you can really get behind, like 4 established star players. Murray, Ingram, McCollum, Williamson. Obviously, Murray's out for the year. Brandon Ingram's a Raptor, so now you just get McCollum and Zion. How far can Zion take this team? Obviously not very far. Again, I think Zion's getting traded in the offseason. It's just, again, the window for Zion to win in New Orleans is gone now. I don't think they're going to be able to put a team that around Zion that's going to be able to win. So I think their best fit just to move on from him and try to rebuild. Obviously, in the Zion era, unfortunately, due to injuries, has been, it sucked. They haven't tapped into the potential that they could have had here in New Orleans. They're going to go to OKC, and the Thunder are going to dominate. This is by far the best team in the NBA, and it's not even close. It's not. I mean, the Thunder, again, they go on the road to Memphis. They win. I mean, what can't this team do? I'm serious. The only team stopping this team from winning the NBA Finals this season is the Los Angeles Lakers. It's the only team. It's the only team. The Thunder are not losing to anybody else in the playoffs in a 7-game series other than potentially the Lakers. But where I get scared of the Lakers beating the Thunder, as a Laker fan, yeah, they can score. Yeah, Luka eliminated them last year, but Luka had Derek Lively last year. The Lakers are going to have Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood potentially, Trey Jemison, Christian Koloko, and maybe, and I hope, Dwight Howard. But again, it's bad when I'm hoping that Dwight Howard gets signed to the Lakers in the big 2025. Dwight was in his prime 14 years ago? 12 years ago? When the Lakers initially signed him in 13 to make the super team with Steve Nash and Powell and Kobe. 7th seed in the playoffs and was swept by the Spurs in the first round. Never forget. I was fairly young, but a lot of expectations for that squad. It's bad. Anyways, the Thunder should blow out the Pelicans here. Again, I don't know who stops this team other than Los Angeles, but where I get scared of the Lakers is just the bigs matchup. I mean, how are they going to match up with Chet and Hartenstein? I don't know. But Shea's the best player in the league. He's like a minus 700 favorite at this point to win the most valuable player for good reason. He's that good. This is a Shea MVP boosting performance tonight. Expect Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to try to put it on the Pelicans here. Expect him to score 40. Again, Shai is trying to rewrite that narrative that's been built the last 2 seasons of, oh, he only scores 31 points tonight. No, this is an established scorer, and this is the best scorer in the National Basketball Association. Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, MVP. Give me the Thunder to win at home and cover and blow out this lowly New Orleans Pelicans squad. We move on to this disaster in Dallas, Texas. I'll get the pick out the way. I think it's probably the least important part of this game. The Mavericks likely beat the Sacramento Kings. I don't like Sacramento on the road. Sure, they beat the Pelicans, but what the hell even is this team anymore? Again, they got rid of De'Aaron Fox and bring in Zach LaVine. Not horrible given the situation, but this team was built around De'Aaron Fox, and just stylistically, they have to play a different game now. They're going to go to Dallas, and ultimately, I think they lose. I think Kyrie Irving's going to be able to bring this team to victory here. I really like Max Christie on this team. I've always liked Max Christie when he was on the Lakers. Obviously, I'm not a fake Max Christie guy like Charles Barkley is. Ridiculous. But I like the Mavs in this spot. I like them to beat the Kings. Kyrie should be able to propel them to victory. Again, no ADs, so that means probably Najee Marshall or PJ Washington, or PJ Washington's going to be at the 3. So it likely means Najee Marshall in the starting lineup, and Gadford's all right. Like, I think the Mavericks probably beat Sacramento. Sacramento on the road, can't trust them. They're still learning this, De'Aaron Fox-less offense with Malik Monk at point guard, with Zach LaVine as the other guard, and obviously now DeMar's like playing more of his game. I just don't like this new look Sac squad. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it at all. I think if I had to make a prediction, I think they're the ones that fall out the plan, and I think the Warriors get in, and I think we set up for hopefully a Warriors-Suns winner-go-home 9-10 matchup. That's ratings. While we get like Clippers-Mavs in the 7-8. Maybe Timberwolves-Clippers. No, the Mavs are, so here's the thing about the Mavs. Yeah, so AD's out for an extended period of time, indefinitely. He's out for at least a month. Just, man, because AD was on fire to start that game against Houston. It was fun to watch. I was happy for Anthony Davis, but then he goes down. Non-contact groin abdomen injury. Oh man. It perfectly describes the Anthony Davis experience. It just does. Great player. It was a y'all must have forgot type of performance when AD was in the court. That's how good this guy is. He can perform at the top level. He's an elite defender who can score as well. I mean, that was great watching AD to start that game. Dallas did kind of blow the lead as the game went on, but obviously they win the game by 11, whatever. The more important part is the Anthony Davis injury. I think Dallas was rushing him back too quickly because they were trying to prove a point. They were trying to prove Nico Harrison's point that, okay, we can be a title contender with this team. Because if AD didn't get hurt against the Rockets, that would be the narrative coming out that game. All right, they look good. They beat a team in the Rockets that had lost 4 in a row prior to that, but they beat a team that's 5th right now in the West. They can win big time games. They're playing best. They're playing their best defense they've played all year, and this is the first victory over Houston. Houston beat them the first 2 times this season, but that's not the narrative anymore. Now it's Anthony Davis is hurt, and who knows when AD's back? Because again, who knows? I don't know when he's going to be back in the lineup. And what is Dallas without AD? They're a good team. They're not a title challenger, and I don't think they're winning titles even with this Kyrie AD team. But they have no shot now without him. So it sucks. I like AD a lot. I am very grateful for what Anthony Davis did for Los Angeles the last couple seasons, or last 5 seasons, obviously winning the team a chip back in 2020. But this is just the reality of the situation. The Lakers won the trade, and now the Mavericks are stuck with, an injury-prone Anthony Davis, who immediately showed it in his first game. When AD's on, he's a great player. But without Anthony Davis and with him injured and on the sidelines, living up to the nickname street clothes, obviously he's not effective. Give me the Mavs to win this game, though. I think they match up fairly well with the Kings, but long-term wise, we can't trust this Mavs team at all. We just can't. They need AD to be healthy. And look what we have right now. To Denver. The Portland Trailblazers go on the road to the Denver Nuggets. To take on the Denver Nuggets. Detroit, why do I keep butchering? Portland going on the road to Denver here. Portland was on a run, obviously. They were winning all these games at home, right? They take down the Bucks, Magic, Suns, Pacers, Kings in 6 straight games at the Moda Center. Incredible. They go on the road and lose big time to the Timberwolves. I think maybe their magic is only in Oregon right now. I don't know. Portland, again, finds themselves right now in the same spot where San Antonio is. Obviously, 2 teams with much different expectations this season. Obviously, neither have championship aspirations this year, but 2 teams that are building for the future. And hell, the Trailblazers have themselves in the same exact spot that the Spurs are in. So good for Portland, man. They've been on a run, but they lost that last game to Minnesota, and they get blown out on the road against the Timberwolves, a short-handed Timberwolves squad at that. I think they're able to play competitive basketball here with the Denver Nuggets on the road. I don't think ultimately, though, they win the basketball game. Portland are 9.5-point favorites on the road here at the Ball Arena. I think they're able to keep it close. Why? Denver doesn't play defense. So Portland should be able to, again, keep up scoring-wise, but I do think in the end, Denver does pull away. I think this is a very close game that Denver at the very end, again, just edges out. Now, Denver's a bunch of injuries, but we expect Aaron Gordon to play. He's probable. Jamal Murray probable. MPJ questionable, who's been a huge factor right now for this Denver Nuggets squad. And Russ, obviously, off the bench is going to be out for a little while. But the Nuggets, again, on paper, they are the better basketball team. They do fare better than the Portland Trailblazers in this matchup. But again, that's not to say I don't think Portland's able to keep up. I think they definitely are going to be able to keep up. They're taking on a team that stylistically, again, it's a good matchup for both these squads. But again, I think Denver does what Portland does just a little bit better. Not the best defensive team, though. I think Portland plays slightly better defense right now than the Nuggets have. At least Portland in that, stretch at home was playing better defense than the Nuggets have all year, obviously. But just with the game being on the road for the Blazers, I don't think they're able to pull off the straight money line upset. On the road at altitude should be a little bit tough here. But I think they should be able to cover this line. Again, when Portland came into this 2-game set, or at least into this road trip, I thought they could beat the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves. They didn't. But I said they're going to split with the Nuggets. I don't think it's going to be tonight, but I think potentially in the second game, maybe Portland does get them on Wednesday. I don't know. How are tickets to Denver Nuggets games $5? How? Out here in California, hell no. Damn lucky if you get into any sporting event for $5 out here. And I'm talking about the Giants too. Oh man, I gotta pay like $15 to get in those games, but $5 to watch the Nuggets and the Blazers. I get it's not that high value of a matchup, but really? Damn. Give me Denver to win, but Portland to cover. Let's go on to the main event. I mean, again, the game, okay. They're playing the Utah Jazz, or the Los Angeles Lakers. You're not there to watch the Utah Jazz. It's the first time, by the way, the Jazz have ever been featured in the thumbnail of one of these videos, as you see Lauri Markkanen in the thumbnail, likely. I'll probably put Markkanen in the thumbnail. Great on the Utah Jazz. I believe this is their first nationally televised game all season long. I'm not joking. I think it might be. And ESPN obviously just bought the rights to this game. They did it last second because it looks like Luka Doncic is playing. Now, Luka's questionable, LeBron's questionable, Dalton Connect questionable, Bronny's doubtful. No! I'm not going to watch Bronny. This is going to be a blowout. Bronny was going to score. Oh, no, I didn't know that. I'm actually so disappointed. No. Damn it, man. I'm going to have to go back later in the year to watch Bronny score. No. I'm going to have to go back literally maybe the next home game against the Hornets. I kid you not, maybe. Probably gonna be the cheapest one for the rest of the season. Oh man, or maybe Tuesday, March 4th against. Oh, probably can't do that. I'll find a crappy team to watch them play because I need to see Bronny, man. Why? Why is Bronny doubtful? Anyways, Luka's playing, so I need to stop bitching. Luka Doncic makes his debut as a Los Angeles Laker. He is questionable. LeBron's questionable. Dalton Connect, questionable. I don't think Dalton's playing, but LeBron and Luka are playing. Okay, they're not, hear me out. The Lakers are not postponing this again because if they don't debut tonight, they're not debuting, Luka's not debuting until post All-Star break. It's going to be tonight. I don't even know if he plays the next game in Utah on Wednesday. It's not like that's going to matter too much. Luka is going to make his debut as a Los Angeles Laker tonight. I can't believe that's real. Now, I'll be honest, guys, I picked against the Lakers in their last game. I did. I thought Indiana was going to beat them. Boy, was I wrong, because Austin Reeves is elite. He is, guys. It's crazy, but you can legitimately make the case this is one of the best big threes in the entire league. LeBron, Luka, Reeves. Reeves is on that level, guys. I've been saying it all year long. Sure, AR will have his bad games. He had his bad game against the Warriors on Thursday night. But AR is very good. Reeves averages 19 a night, and it doesn't get talked about. He is a pure scorer, man. AR is a hooper. This guy was an undrafted free agent that got signed to the Lakers. How? I don't know. How did the rest of the league miss on AR? I don't know. But AR's elite. LeBron, again, how the hell is that guy 40? And you bring in Luka Doncic. Now, I'd stay away from this. I'm not even going to be betting on the game. I'm going to the game. I'm watching it as a fan. I'm just going to be honest. Watching it as a fan, I'm not going to be worrying about a betting line. 13.5 points. Do they cover? Likely. They probably do. Because the Lakers are probably going to try to put it on the Jazz right now. They know everybody's watching. It's Luka's first game. If anything, I would consider betting Luka's over, but I don't know what the minute restriction is going to be on Luka tonight, if there is one. But the Lakers, they are going to go out here and they are going to put on a statement. That's entirely what this game is. They want to put it on the Utah Jazz, okay? But the Lakers, again, this team has been so good all year long, and now they're winning games without Luka and LeBron. They beat the Pacers, who are the 4th best team in the Eastern Conference. You know how impressive that is? This team's good, man. I know, again, no Mark Williams now sucks, but you get Dalton Connect back, and obviously, again, Dalton's going to help off the bench. You get your pick back, you get Cam Reddish back, who might get waived, I'm going to be honest. But Dalton's going to help off the bench. It kind of fills that void we were talking about. We were talking about when we thought the Lakers had Mark Williams. We were saying, all right, well, they don't have a backup 2. It's probably not going to be Shake. You probably don't want Shake Milton to be your backup 2 guard or Gabe Vincent. So I was saying, again, I hope this team gets Victor Oladipo. Well, now, I love Vic, but now probably this team should try to go out and get Dwight Howard. I wouldn't mind a Mo Bamba reunion. He's going to be on the buyout market, but I do think that Dwight Howard's likely the best guy for this team. Does he start over Jackson Hayes? I don't know what a 39-year-old Dwight Howard's going to be compared to Jackson Hayes, but I think it's worth a shot. I think it is. I really want them to get Dwight. If not, JaVale McGee. Now, JaVale's 37. JaVale is playing in Spain? Puerto Rico. Don't know if he can get off that contract. Probably can't. It's the NBA. Regardless, I want to see Dwight Howard. I want to see Dwight Howard join the squad. Again, I stay away from the betting line in this game. Enjoy this one as a fan. I'm enjoying it as a fan, obviously. I'm going. Lakers minus 13.5. Sure, they should probably cover. What do we expect out of Utah here? Who the hell knows? They always have an injury report. This is the first time in a while they've had less than 5 guys in their injury report, but no Colin Sexton tonight. That means Jordan Clarkson, the former Laker, obviously probably enters the starting lineup. So we're looking at a starting 5 of Isaiah Collier, Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, and Walker Kessler. Expect Collier to have a big night, maybe, matched up with AR, but I don't know. Teams, these lowly teams do usually just play better against the Lakers just because this is their Super Bowl, and this is, again, the first nationally televised game and last nationally televised game the Utah Jazz have for the rest of the season. So they're going to show up, but at the same time, this is just usually some of these games where you see, these bad teams going to Los Angeles and they shock the Lakers and put up a fight. That's fine, but it's just some of those games the Lakers just kind of just, they sleepwalk their way to winning. This one's different. This is a statement game. Everyone's watching. The entire world's watching this one, and Luka knows it, and Luka's pissed. Luka's happy he's a Laker, but at the same time, he's mad the Mavs traded him. He's out for revenge now. Luka's going to, I think, again, if there's no minutes restriction, 40 plus. I think so. Luka's going out here to make a statement. It's his first game since Christmas. And I think Luka, again, is going to try to put it on the Utah Jazz. So give me the Los Angeles Lakers, and I finally get to say it, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Utah Jazz. We have to wait until the big four, AR, LeBron, AR, LeBron, Luka, and Bronny James come out, because we can call that team, we'll go A for Austin Reeves, we'll go B for Bronny, B for Bron, and L for Luka. ABBL, the big four name. We'll wait till the ABBL big four comes out. Wait till the BBL comes out. The Los Angeles Lakers, this team's winning it all this season. If they can beat the Thunder, we'll see. Give me Lakers minus 13.5, but I'm so excited. Just as long as the Lakers win, which they've been doing a lot, I'll be happy. I'm staying away. You can bet it. Bet Luka's over if there's no minutes restriction. We'll see. Folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions here for February 10th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA predictions. Folks, thank y'all for watching. And Mamba, forever.